Hi, and welcome to the Revive, Thrive, and Optimize podcast. I'm Billy Weiss, compounding pharmacist and health and wellness expert. As always, behind the scenes, Mike, and across from me, Janet. Hello, and hello to everyone out there.
Well, season's greetings. I think we can say that now. We've just come off of Thanksgiving. We're headed towards Christmas and headed towards 2026.
Yep.
And it's always that time of year where everybody's thinking about, hey, I'm going to sign up for this exercise class or this nutrition plan, starting January 1st. But I think we should kind of start now working on a step-by-step guide to better health in 2026. What do we do? Give us a shortcut. Is there a shortcut?
Well, I think there's some easy things that people could start transitioning into for sure that can make a huge difference. And I think number one, Janet, and I think the easiest thing to think about, and something that not only doesn't cost anything, but actually saves most people money, is to drink water, to give up the teas, the soft drinks, the alcohol if they can.
The energy drinks.
Yeah, all those things, and just drink water. Since our bodies are 70% plus water, it's very important to give the body water in adequate amounts.
Interesting that I do a lot of in-bodies, and particularly with women, the in-body body composition will show that most of us are dehydrated.
It does, and the studies show that most Americans are chronically dehydrated, not just occasionally dehydrated. They go around dehydrated all the time.
A lot of times I'll feel hungry, but I'm not really hungry. It's just that I'm thirsty.
It's absolutely true, Janet. So many people are eating when all they should do, when all they really need and what their body is desiring is water. And then whether you're really hungry or not after you've had a glass or two of water.
And if we are overeating during the holidays and eating bad, does drinking more water help to sort of flush that out?
Well, it certainly doesn't hurt to help flush sugar and toxins and those things out of the body.
Seed oils.
And it makes the body just more efficient, right? Yeah. It makes the body metabolically more efficient, so able to burn more of those things off. So definitely, if we're well hydrated, we're going to flush more toxins. Yeah. We're going to hopefully sweat more if we're doing any kind of activity to create, that kind of sweat, working out or saunas or hot yoga, those kind of things. So yeah, it has so many benefits for us.
I just wanted you to be proud of me because I didn't eat so well over the holidays, but I did drink a lot of water.
Good.
And something I've never done before, because I know I couldn't do this when I met you because I was going through so much musculoskeletal pain in my joints and knees and wrists and stuff. But I challenged my students to be not just thankful, but to be plankful during Thanksgiving. And we challenged ourselves to do planks every day.
Awesome.
And so on Thursday, I did a 5-minute plank.
That's awesome. That's great.
5-minute plank.
What percentage of the U.S. population can hold a 5-minute plank? It's got to be 1% or less.
I was shocked.
So that's impressive. That's really good. Yeah.
Thank you. So step-by-step guide. One of the things I was thinking is if I wanted to really turn my health around in 2026 and I wanted to go find the right provider to help me do that, it's like you're going over here to get maybe a colonoscopy, and you're going over here to see an endocrinologist, and you're going over here for your hormones, and you're going over here for something else. Like, how do we find a provider that can look at our whole body? And then I want to show up with my labs already done. Because I feel like if I go to the doctor in January, then by the time they send me to get labs and then I see them again, it's not going to be till spring. And then I can't get started on 2026 till summer. So what do I need to do to jumpstart?
Well, Janet, finding one provider who does it all is just about gone today. Yeah. And it's unfortunate because I think that's when we had the best care, when we didn't have all the specialties. But now, because of insurance and liability and lawsuits and just the way the system works, one doctor, what I think of as the old family doctor who delivered the baby,
came
was
to
the pediatrician,
house.
was the, gynecologist,
cardiologist, all of it.
Yeah. I mean, those days are just gone because it's not the way the system teaches it anymore. And it's sad because I think that's how you really got the best care, because one or two providers or a small group of providers really knew you and your family, and they knew your history. And one of the things that has bothered me for a long time about specialties is, they only concentrate on what they specialize in. And so if what they're treating you with for, say, your heart harms your kidneys, well, that's not their problem. They're not the kidney doctor. If what the kidney doctor does harms your heart, well, that's not their problem, because that's not what they do. And so we see all these drug interactions and nutrient depletions and just one thing harming the other, causing you to need three others. It's some of that, I'm afraid, is from the specialty. And it's not, I'm not downgrading any specialist at all. I'm just saying they are taught to concentrate on a particular part of the body, and they don't look at the body as a whole. Whereas the family doctor had to think about everything.
And they knew your grandmother, and they delivered your mom and all that.
Yeah, it just, to me, it was a different time, and it was a better time. You probably didn't have to wait 6 months to get an appointment with them either. You could get in when you needed.
And honestly, the way I found the provider that I love was, first of all, I took your wellness summit several times, many times. I'm getting ready to take it for the 11th time, right? And I'm so excited because I learned so much new stuff every time. But just working with you, your knowledge, your background, all the things you've studied for 30 years, from hormones to gut health to autoimmune to heart disease, cancer, and all the experiences you've had treating so many people, helping so many people, that helped me to even know where to start looking.
Yeah.
And then I looked and looked and looked, and then I came back to you, and I'm like, help me find somebody. And I know you interviewed 65 plus people to find the person that you then sent me to.
Well, and the person that Beth goes to,
that you go
I
to,
go to, and
25 of my students now go to.
Yeah.
So, just thank you for helping me to do that, and to cut out so many years of maybe still looking, or my hormones thinking that they're at the right level and they're not. Yeah. Just so many things. So going into step-by-step guide to find the right provider to ask the right questions for 2026, you need certain blood labs, and not all doctors are going to look for that.
Right.
You need to find the right provider. You need to know what to ask. You need to come take the course January 10th and 11th. I don't even know if there's going to be any more spaces left, but I would look into that, get on the waiting list. What else? Supplements. Well, what can
Janet,
we do?
Yeah. So,
body.
We talked about drinking water, and that's an easy one, I think. And again, if you're buying other beverages, that saves you money.
Yeah,
it saves money. You could take that savings, I think, and start the foundational 4 supplements that I created.
So that's your multivitamin, which is a daily detox also.
Yeah. You
have magnesium, which is amazing for energy to the cell, for helping make your hormones, for helping you sleep, to helping you relax, helping with migraines. Yep. We have your probiotic, which I have doubled down on during Thanksgiving, and that's helped me so much. And then we have your digestive enzymes, which I can't live without having one in my purse, one in my car, and one in my house.
Yeah, I think that if somebody said, I'm going to start really slow and I'm not going to do much, the foundational 4 is going to make such a difference in the way they feel, the way they sleep, the way
it's almost an immediate difference.
Bowel movement. Yeah, it's going to change their life. Yeah. If they, and most Americans, again, are nutritionally deficient, it's going to make such a difference for them then it's going to create an environment where they want to do more.
It's hard. I've got stockpiles of your supplements at my house that I try to give to people, and they'll be like, "Oh no, we're getting ours at Costco."
Yeah. Well, have fun taking your poison. That's all I get.
So just the education again will show you what kind of supplements to get and what to look for. So water, supplementation. How about knowing your body composition? Should you go to a doctor that you would say, hey, don't just put me on scales and tell me my BMI. Why do I need to know my body composition?
Well, there's a lot of reasons you need to know it. Finding a provider who wants you to know it or will do it is going to be really tough. I think you're probably going to have to do that on your own 99% of the time, Janet. You're going to have to go out and find a place like Prescriptions Plus or your studio that has an InBody or some type of...
Yeah, CrossFit has an InBody.
Yeah, some type of quality measurement.
Measuring.
Now, those,
scale,
look,
scan.
I'll just give you an example of why I say quality measurement, just like quality supplements. Everything should be, I think, taken with the greatest quality. So, that we have an InBody at the pharmacy, and we've used it. I mean, it gets used a lot, as you know. And so Beth and I went and did an InBody last Saturday morning before we hiked. We hadn't done one in a while. We're like, let's go do one. So we did an InBody, and we had a brand new Omron, which is supposed to be one of the best brands of these scales that somebody had given us. That's gonna
like a body pod kind of.
Yeah, it's going to measure the same, supposedly measure the same elements that the InBody does, right?
But it's more for home, or?
Well, it's for home. But I mean, it's still probably like a $300 scale.
Yeah.
I didn't look, but I imagine it's probably at least that. And it's supposed to give you body fat and visceral fat and some of the same things that the InBody did. So Beth and I took our printouts from our InBody. We went home and got on she put it together, put the batteries in, or got it out of the box, put the batteries in it, got it cranked up, put in her data. And her body fat percentage was like 12% off different.
Wow.
Now, her weight was, our weights were very, very similar, but the visceral fat and the body fat and the muscle was way off.
I've heard that with body pods too.
Yeah, I'm not saying they're wrong. And what I tell everybody is they can be a gauge as to what direction
you can see where
in.
you're trending and which direction.
But they're $300 versus several, $15,000, $10,000, $12,000, $15,000, $20,000 NASA technology. It's just different. So I do like having data that we can share, and I don't care what you weigh. I could care less. There's millions of people heard me say, I don't care what you weigh, how much of it's fat and how much of it's muscle. That's what we care about.
All right. So
knowing that is very important.
So what, for a healthy adult, middle-aged adult, what's a healthy percentage of body fat for men and women? What's a healthy visceral fat?
Yeah.
What?
Well, yeah. So that's a great question. So if they get an InBody 570, they or there's different models. So some of them don't do visceral fat. 570 and above does
and
visceral fat.
770 and 970.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So that to me is the most accurate thing you can get is a 570 or above measurement on an InBody, unless you're going to do the water immersion
or a DEXA scan, but those are a little harder to find and cost a little more. So for a man, and I don't say middle age, I say any age. Amen. Okay.
A man, their body fat percentage should be between 10 and 20%, and we prefer 15 or below. Okay, but 20 is acceptable as a pretty solid number. And their visceral fat as a man should be, I'm going to say on the 570, which is what I'm most familiar with, and the scale goes 0 to 20 or 1 to 20. I've never seen a 0. I think that would be unhealthy too. I think that a man should certainly be below 8, we'll say. I would prefer below 5 for a man, but that's getting lean. That's pretty lean man, a pretty healthy man. For the body fat percentage. And so 10 to 20% body fat, a visceral fat below 8, certainly for a man. For a woman of any age, a body fat percentage of 18 to 28%, with 23 or below being the
more optimal.
The more optimal. And they're probably going to have, a woman is generally going to have a little more visceral fat. So we're going to say below 10, certainly.
Yeah,
and again, we really like below 8, but whereas for a man, below 5 or 6 would be awesome. Below 8 for a woman would be really healthy. And so those are kind of the numbers that we're looking for. 18 to 28 for a woman, 10 to 20 for a man, with the median in the middle there, 15 for a man, 23 for a woman.
Now this is getting a little picky, but when a woman is on an in-body and she's got really large breasts, is that considered fat?
Well, it is fat for sure. And that's why we go 10 to 20 for a man, 18 to 28 for a woman. A woman is naturally going to carry more fat because of breast and different size, butts and those things. So yeah, that's not necessarily bad. It's just going to skew the number a little bit,
make it a little different,
because that is body fat.
Because you could be
for sure
completely lean, and the in-body will show no fat in your legs, arms, and all of a sudden,
and now that's the beauty of it too, is the in-body breaks it down by section of the body, right? So you can see, hey, my midsection is good, my arms and legs are good. I just have bigger boobs or whatever. So it's going to skew the number some, certainly. Okay. And that's not bad. That's expected. And that's why we use different numbers for women.
All right. So we got drink water, take the right supplements, know your body composition. And then for, say, adults, young adults, even premenopausal even, and postmenopausal hormones.
Yeah, I would start with, Janet, probably having them walk, get active.
Okay, so let's go back. Sorry.
Yeah.
Let's move first.
So I think that, water, supplements, knowing some basic measurements, and then probably just some type of activity, some type of movement every day or on a regular basis, maybe not every day, but a regular basis of an intended time to move.
Okay.
Whether that's walking, I would prefer, resistance training would be the preferred method. But for most people, they have shoes or don't even need shoes in the summer, and they can go walk. And again, that's free, right? Doesn't cost anything.
Right.
So I think if we can go there, and so, we kind of hit that. And then, the next most obvious thing to me is to think about just maybe reducing some of the refined sugars and added sugars that so many Americans are eating today.
So maybe also knowing your fasting insulin, just that one lab.
I would love for people to know their fasting insulin always. I think that goes right along with their body fat and muscle mass.
I was at a party Friday night and somebody came up to me and told me they're fasting insulin.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's good. And I do think that's an important number. And that's probably, I don't know, $40 today. Yeah. I think it's not much if we order it for them. So those are some easy, fairly inexpensive things. I mean, an in-body is, I don't know, $40 or $50, and a foundational 4 is, we'll call it 100 or whatever. I mean, it's pretty inexpensive, right? To do those things. Walking is free.
You'll make some of that back if you just drink water.
Yeah. So those are the easy things. Then I think we get into the more advanced, I'll call them,
which would be figuring out gut health.
Well,
hormones,
we're probably going to certainly do more than the foundational 4 supplements. Then we're going to look at the hormones. Yeah. And that's going to require more lab work. Yes.
At what age should a man and a woman know what their hormones are? Like I'm hearing that a lot of men have low testosterone already in their 30s. Yeah. At what point should they go to their doctor and go, hey, I want to know what my hormones are?
Janet, I used to would have said for a man 50 and for a woman 45. And now I'm going to back that up for a man 35 and for a woman 30.
Wow.
I mean, it's decreasing fast. And we are seeing, data that shows that, especially with men's testosterone, I can't remember exactly how the study worded it, but something to the effect that a man in their 60s today has probably double the testosterone levels naturally of a man in their 30s. So if somebody's 60 today versus a 30-year-old, the 60-year-old probably has more quite a bit more testosterone. And again, that's some of the xenoestrogens and things that we mentioned in the last podcast about the women's black box stuff. Right. Is that we're bombarded with all these plastics and xeno or man-made estrogens that are out there that drive down some of these numbers faster. Plus the poor food supply that some people are
The seed oils.
Eating the seed oils, the EMFs, electromagnetic fields from cell phones. I mean, there's so many things. Atrazine, glyphosate. I mean, it's everywhere.
We wanted to take a stand on plastic this week, and we had a house full of people. And the easiest way to get everybody their coffee in the mornings was, like a Keurig type machine. So, we made sure we got the kinds with no plastic.
Right.
We had no, we didn't want to have any plastic water bottles.
Right.
Drink out of the Kangen machine, all these different, just little things. Like every
It does. It makes
helps.
A difference. Yeah. I mean, even
no microwave, things like that.
Yeah. Even not touching your receipt from the stores.
From the grocery store. I always tell my girl at Ingles, I'm like, don't touch that.
Right. Just throw it in the bag.
Now, what is it about the paper? It's got...
Yeah, just they have some of those chemicals that we're talking about in them that can suppress or mimic, suppress testosterone and mimic estrogen. Wow. So, if you want to really be looked at like you're crazy, you do like I do. And every time you go in the grocery store, you ask for plastic. I mean, you ask for paper, no plastic.
Yeah, for paper, no plastic.
Yeah, so they, have to go looking for paper bags.
Or when we go to a coffee shop, we take our own mugs with us.
Yeah,
so we don't have to drink out of their cup.
Beth will do that too.
And just little things we can implement in 2026. This is another reason why it's fun to take your class, or even to follow your podcast for me, is because I pick up something new that's easy and free to do. Or I find
so many things are easy and free, Janet. And then when people want to be more proactive, we can go beyond that, right? But some of these things, like the Foundational 4, to me, are so inexpensive for the return you get. It's no brainer.
So they can't say be here for the class, and they're really confused, and maybe they've got a whole thing going on. They're trying to get pregnant, or they've got autoimmune issues or whatever. They can do a one-on-one consult with you. You'll send for the labs, and you can do it that way also.
We can. I mean, it's it's not hard to do any of those things, to set up an appointment.
And a lot of your consultations are on Zoom. Yeah,
we do. I do probably more other states now than I do.
You're working.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so many people from, I don't know why Texas is a big one for me. Florida. I mean, they're just all over today.
Because you can't get in with Peter Attia anymore. They're coming to you.
Well, if you listen to some of his takes on hormones, you might want to rethink getting in with him.
All right. Now that's going to send me off on a little rabbit hole.
Well, just hear his take on testosterone levels and things, and you may be shocked.
Okay.
Let's say that. So I would be careful, just because he was recently on TV or whatever.
He was on 60 Minutes and it blew
whatever
up.
it was.
Yeah.
And I'm not, I mean, he has some good data, don't get me wrong. But he definitely has some, I'll call them hormone issues.
And we all have hormone issues. So there we go. Everything kind of seems to come back to hormones and autoimmune. And you're so brilliant in both of those categories. And then showing us what actually feeds the cancer, the Alzheimer's, and bringing it all right back down to that knowing you're fasting insulin.
Well, Janet, here's what, I've learned over the years, and the research is really clear on, and we talked about this, we hit on this a little bit in the last podcast, is, we all are dealt a hand of cards, our genetics. Mm-hmm. But our epigenetics, the environment that we put our body in and around, are really what makes that either turn on or off. And so just because maybe, my mom had, not my mom, but your mom had diabetes, not your mom, but anybody's mom had diabetes, or anybody's mom had breast cancer, or anybody's dad had prostate cancer, and so forth. It doesn't predispose you to that unless you follow the same lifestyle patterns. There are ways to greatly reduce the risk of all the leading causes of death. When you think about the fact that heart disease and cancer are 50% of the deaths in the U.S., now, we know how to teach you how to reduce the risk of heart disease by 82%. I go through the data into Summit. 82% of the number one killer in America can be prevented for both men and women. And it's really not that complicated. What the study shows reduced 82%. And then you can look at easy data to reduce the risk of cancer, the second leading cause of death, which is about equal with heart disease now, by 50% by doing one simple, a few simple things, if not one. And so when we look at that and we say, okay, now we've reduced the risk of those top two, but at the same time, we're reducing the risk of the next several.
Right.
Just by default, because of reducing the risk of the top two.
Downstream.
It's not that hard. Now, look, there are no guarantees. I could die of a heart attack today. You could die of a heart attack today.
But I felt good leading up to it.
But I've done everything I wanted to do and felt like I could do, and have done things that I didn't think I could do. My quality of life has been amazing. So, and I certainly hope that continues for decades. But the risk of that are very small for us versus the average American. And it's just simply because we're doing some pretty, what I call, simple things. So there's so many, what I'll call easy things, and I think we've hit on many of them today, that can make a tremendous difference. I mean, when I think of the stories that I hear just from people taking the foundational 4.
Yeah.
I mean, when I think of that, when I think of the people who go, oh gosh, my hair come back, my nails grow, my eyelashes are back, my
immune system's
energy.
better.
I don't take Prilosec anymore. I never knew. I don't have any. I'm not constipated anymore. I sleep. I don't take my Ambien anymore. I mean, all these things. Well, so easy.
And another one for me, just this week of I've always been allergic to most animals, so I have one of those designer dogs that's hypoallergenic and doesn't shed. But I have 3 other dogs in my house this week at one point, and with these extra dogs, I thought I was going to be eyes swollen, sneezing my head off, and I did take an antihistamine here and there, but I was taking your seasonal essentials.
Yeah.
Right. And keeping my immune system strong, and I didn't have the reactions that I would normally have. And that just was a game changer for me.
Yeah. I mean, for things like that, the seasonal essentials is an amazing product for people, for sure. So there's so many things, Janet. I mean, I think we hit on some of the more simple, easy things. I mean, things that are inexpensive, things that are non-invasive, things that are easy to do are drink water, take the foundational 4 supplements, get an in-body. I mean, that requires you taking your socks and shoes off. That's about it.
Go for a walk.
Carry
something heavy.
And then, if you can, do something that resists to build muscle. And know your fasting insulin. I mean, none of those things are very expensive. None of those things are hard. Some of them are free.
There's your step-by-step guide right there.
That is like, I really believe, Janet, and I've said this before, and I think that it's true. We could avoid 80% of all the problems in America by those simple things. I mean, along with maybe cutting out some of the refined sugars and processed foods. I think we could cut out 80% of the overweight, obesity, high blood pressure, heart disease, cancers. We'd cut out just a tremendous amount of that. And people would be so much more productive.
Well, I think that's a great step-by-step guide, a great place to get us going. And let's take this into December and right on into January.
I would encourage somebody to pick at least 2 to 3 of those and try to run with it.
Start now.
Yep.
Cool.
All right.
Thanks.
See ya.